good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome, and thank you for joining us. My name is Carl Anthony, and this is AutoVision News live at AutoSens and in cabin from the Auto World Museum in Brussels, Belgium. Broadcasting by the Bugatti Type 49 and Cadillac 341, we are immersed in the history of the automobile while simultaneously embracing its future. Joining us now is Cristina Galassi, Scientific Project Officer of the Sustainable Transport Unit at the European Commission Joint Research Center, or JRC. She's leading JRC activities on the development of the new EU type approval framework for automated vehicles with a focus on safety requirements and validation. She studied aerospace engineering and received her PhD in nuclear and industrial safety from the University of Pisa. Cristina, welcome to AutoSens, and thank you for joining us for our broadcast.
Thanks to you.
Cristina, let's start with aerospace engineering and then nuclear and industrial safety. Tell us what made you want to become an engineer, what made you want to pursue this education?
Well, first of all, because I'm curious, I think as all scientists, so we want to understand things, to investigate the reasons why. And so basically this is the first reason. And second reason, I think this is common with many ladies. So so we are looking out to our father. Yes. So my father was an engineer, and so basically that's one of the biggest reasons.
Yes. On the flight over here from Detroit to Brussels, I always love flying because of the sounds of the plane and just being inside the cabin of the plane and being at the airport. So aerospace engineering was always a neat field to me. Mm-hmm. So Cristina, tell us a little about RC then, and provide us an overview of the work you're doing there.
Yes, of course, exactly. I work at the Joint Research Center of the European Commission. We are the Science and Knowledge Service of the Commission. What does it mean? It means that we do not have a legislative mandate, we are scientists.
Yes. Okay.
So we provide scientific and technical support to the policy-making process. And basically that's what we did also in this case for the development of a new regulatory framework for automated vehicles.
So the European Commission just published a new regulation on the type approval of motor vehicles equipped with automated driving systems. Now, Cristina, can you tell us more about the innovative aspects of this regulation, and then basically what is covered and how it regulates the deployment of automated vehicles?
Yes, you are right. Indeed, this regulation is a very important milestone for us and for the automotive sector as well. And it's the first of its kind in the sense that it incorporates a new approach for the homologation of vehicles. So this approach has been discussed also at global level within United Nations working groups. And we implemented this general approach for the first time in this regulation. So this new approach encompasses new methods for defining safety requirements and also for validating these safety requirements are correctly implemented.
Of course.
This means that, for example, when it comes to safety requirements, we do not rely on just one acceptability criterion, but we adopted a blended approach, putting together more criteria. And the same for validation methods. So autonomous vehicles are very complex systems, and they operate in almost unpredictable environments. So everybody realized that we cannot just rely on physical testing. We also need simulation, virtual testing, and also more analytical strategies, like, for example, understanding the maturity of the company in terms of safety management, and also understanding what the company did in a specific case to validate the safety of its product. And further to that, we understood that this process of safety assessment cannot terminate with the approval, but should also continue once the vehicles will be on the market.
Yes.
And this is probably the more innovative part of this approach. Is also related to in-service monitoring of the safety performance.
Yeah, I think all of this is so interesting. And as I understand it, this European regulation now really represents the first worldwide effort to regulate level 4 automated vehicles. How was that achieved? Can you give us some insight there?
Yes, exactly. So This regulation basically is trying to harmonize what was done in the past by member states, and in particular by France and Germany. They developed somehow their national regulations first, and we took over from that to extend this approach also to across member states in Europe. So starting from there, indeed, we analyzed which were the technologies almost market ready. And that's why we addressed level 4 vehicles. And in particular, this regulation will allow, or is already going to allow the type approval of shuttles, so autonomous shuttles, robot taxis, automated valet parking, and hub-to-hub commercial application. And this, the process of the preparation of this regulation was carried over in a working group of the European Commission with member states, but also industry and representatives from other stakeholders associations. So it was a joint effort to which, of course, GRC contributed, but it was the result of a big joint effort from all the players. So we are very happy about the results.
Oh, indeed, indeed. So you have this successful joint effort. What is next for the JRC? What are some of the next steps now?
Indeed, the work doesn't stop. It's not finished yet. In the short term, we are going to work with member states and, again, stakeholders to deliver by the end of this year a draft, at least the first draft, of an interpretation document for the implementation of this regulation. Because in order to be able to address so different use cases, it still had to be quite open approach. And so we understood that some common understanding on how this is going to be implemented is needed. That's why we are going to discuss this with member states as well as industry to make sure that its implementation is going to be as uniform as possible across Europe. And possibly GRC, since again we are scientists and provide technical support, we will be able to provide some technical guidance on the specific aspects. Also preparing for the review of this regulation that will come into 2 years' time. So basically that's our plan for the next future.
So I will be excited, Cristina, to get caught up with you in the next couple of years here at an AutoSens, and we do this interview again, and then we'll celebrate those collaboration wins, and then we'll talk about what's the next steps at that time. So I think it's interesting when you say that you're scientists and you're engineers first and you provide support. But believe it or not, I would like to be an engineer when I grow up. I'm taking classes slowly but surely. I'm a broadcaster now, but engineering science is my passion. The role you've described of using science to advise others, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for being with us. From all of us here at AutoVision News, I want to wish you the best of luck going forward. Please, let's do another interview again like this in the future so we can see where the JRC is.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Of course, I will be more than happy to see you in a couple of years and report about our progress.